You know, when you bought your Switch 2, or when you buy your Switch 2, when you get your Switch 2, you look at this system and you say, it looks like a Switch. It's a Switch and I'm probably gonna get the Switch again, right? I'm gonna get Nintendo's best games and I'm gonna get their best attempts at making other things playable on this hybrid console. It's portable, it goes to the TV. But we're getting the huge updates we dreamed of, friends. We're getting the stuff that was only pie in the sky to a certain population and now is coming through so clutch. What's going on, everybody? It's Zach from SwitchForce. Here we are with some amazing Nintendo news updates as we enter the holiday season full force. Hope you all had a great Thanksgiving. If you celebrate, if you didn't, hope you all had a great day regardless. But we got awesome updates on Call of Duty, Assassin's Creed, and much more. So let's kick it off with a little Metroid Prime 4 news, because it's said that Metroid Prime 4 will be releasing with casual and normal modes. And let me know in the comments down below how you feel about this stuff, right? Hit that like button if you enjoy these videos. It's how we keep SwitchForce rolling and going. Metroid Prime 4, no hard mode when you boot it up. You have to unlock hard mode by beating normal mode. Never loved that in a game. Feels very Nintendo-esque. I was probably playing Metroid Prime 4 on normal mode anyways, but kind of like a little pet peeve territory there where it's like, don't lock the hard mode behind me having to beat the game once. If I want to play it harder, let me play it harder. But harder is what the Switch 2 is all about. Making things that are harder work on a platform that previously couldn't do it. So let's talk Assassin's Creed Shadows, because Ubisoft blew out this game. It's coming out next week in just a few days, and this is looking to be the biggest, best port yet on the Switch system. And maybe we don't even call it a port. Maybe we just call it the biggest, best AAA third-party game on a Switch system. All right, Assassin's Creed Shadows is this year's AC. Yes, 2025's Assassin's Creed is coming to the Switch 2 in 2025. It's pretty good music, right? It's pretty good. Feels good in my ears, feels good in my eyes, feels good in my Nintendo lover heart. And it is Black Friday. There's a few decent-ish Switch 2 deals rolling around, but the one I love keeps my system clean, pristine, and a playable machine. This is the Dbrand Kill Switch Ultra Kit. It's currently 45 bucks off, and it keeps my Switch 2 protected wherever I go. It keeps my Switch 2 playable wherever I go. You've seen these grips in every video I've made showing off my Switch 2. I use them, but don't take it from me. Take it from my cats. Look at them. Bowser and Yanny are power users, hardcore gamers, wear and tear on their product. I had to find them something that was gonna last long term and feel good in their paws. Kill Switch Ultra Kit does both to perfection. Dbrand has refined this thing over time to be magical with your Switch 2. It's got that sticky stack ergonomic feel when you hold the grips. I use these Joy-Con grip even when I'm not traveling. Every freaking Switch session is these Joy-Con grip, and the cats love the taste as well. All right, you put these things in your dock, still works. Dock adapter, make sure it's fully functional, tabletop mode, handheld mode, however you play. They've even got stick grips to protect their claws from the stick, screen protectors to protect the screen from their claws. Game cartridge hiding under the hard shell keeps those safe as well. And this isn't just a hard travel case that feels awful or a grip that travels terribly. It does both. It's the merging of the minds. And my cats save their sanity. Click the link in the description down below. They say, Papa, Papa, why doesn't everybody have a Kill Switch Ultra Kit? And I say, I don't know, but they're $45 off, available nationwide at Best Buy and on the website. Every time you click the link, it helps support the channel, and we all appreciate it, because your Switch 2 deserves to be safe, your Switch 2 deserves to feel good, and that is exactly what this case / grip / do-it-all for your Switch 2 does, and we love it. And they've already done a great job making Star Wars Outlaws a phenomenal version on Switch 2. That is a game that I think you gotta get and you gotta experience to see what the Switch 2 can really do. But AC Shadows is an even bigger game, a game with even more promise, because we know there's a huge expansion coming next year, and the Switch 2 version just includes that expansion, which is great. But the Switch 2 version also has a lot under the hood. All right, Ubisoft worked hard and long, as they detail here and show off, to make the rain pour, all right? The rain falls down, and we know that this Switch 2 version is utilizing the tech that it has, all right? It does have DLSS. It does have LOD optimization. It does have a solid locked frame rate. Now, they are going with a locked 30 frame rate, okay, 30 FPS. Maybe you wish that they could go up to 60, but they've made some enhancements and adjustments to make this 30 even better. All right, one feat that they accomplish is that the low frame rate limit for variable refresh rate is typically 40 FPS, but AC Shadows runs at 30 FPS and has still been able to use VRR. So it's still enabled. It keeps as fluid and responsive as possible an experience, Ubisoft says, and it looks really, really good in all the gameplay that they're providing. All right, they say that the world is basically the same. The richness of the world is largely intact. All right, it's using the same cloud systems, the same cloth simulation systems. They've optimized certain other systems, and the one downgrade that they note, Okay, nothing to do with like, oh, it's a different game, oh, it's lacking content, oh, it's skipped out on this city entirely. They do say that in highly populated areas, the NPC count has been reduced to maintain smooth gameplay. And honestly, if you're going to go between, hey, maxing out the NPCs or keeping that frame rate where it needs to be and keeping this game feeling like it is a premium experience throughout and not a hitchy, laggy mess, I'm fine losing a few NPCs. We're not losing world detail. We're not losing clouds, cloths, anything on Naoe or Yasuke. We're keeping the character intact. We're keeping the game intact, and we're able to offer a smoother, higher frame rate, better fluidity, and reduced latency, they say, thanks to DLSS, all right? They got sharper image, accurate colors, improved textures. It looks really good, and this is the type of thing that you're like, okay, I think the Switch 2 is capable of this. When we saw the system specs and when we knew like this system's coming out with this tech, hey, like the Switch 2 could do this. And we're getting the hardcore evidence, right? We're getting the proof in the pudding, and that pudding is chocolate and delicious because AC Shadows is another stellar port that's out next week. I'm definitely playing this one. I'm definitely covering it for you, but we've got the stuff that we need. We've got the game running smoothly. We've got the game looking beautiful, and we've got the game in a full state. Switch ports used to mean like, hey, kind of like cut content, half-baked, old game from 10 years ago. 2025 game, massive world, all the content, very, very, very few concessions made. And they're saying that this is basically the Xbox Series S setup for the game, which, hey, Xbox Series S, you might not want to buy that because they're kind of a mess, but a Switch 2 that you can take on the go and get Xbox Series S experiences and Nintendo experiences, sign me the heck up. AC Shadows might be one of the biggest recommendations for Switch 2 once this thing drops December 2nd. That's coming out next Tuesday, and I will have you covered, letting you know if everything that they say is how it actually exists. And I think it will be. I have faith in Ubisoft right now. Maybe they're not somebody that you usually have faith with, but given that they have killed it with Star Wars Outlaws on the Switch 2, they clearly know what they're doing. They've got the development chops, and they're putting the effort, the time, and the money in, and that makes a big difference. And I think that's why we'll see another successful Switch 2 version with Assassin's Creed Shadows. Big download, like 60-some gigabytes, but hey, we will take it because we're getting a massive game and a massive win for Switch 2. Another big win coming is going to be Call of Duty. We know that Microsoft signed this deal saying like, we got to bring Call of Duty to Switch 2. They were not ready to go this year. Kind of a bummer, would have been like a huge holiday title, but it does seem like they're going to be ready to go in 2026. We know that Sledgehammer, one of the Call of Duty developers, is hiring 4 people that have experience with AAA Switch games. All right, so this does signal that, hey, they are looking to beef up their Switch team, and I'm sure that they want to make sure that they can have something ready to go. Now, Sledgehammer in particular is releasing the 2027 Call of Duty. It does seem like Infinity Ward is releasing the 2026 Call of Duty, so I want to alert you that there's a slight chance that we don't get caught on Switch 2 until 2027, but I do find that to be kind of far off. I know we're highlighting Sledgehammer hiring here, but the fact that they're hiring probably means the same across other teams, and even though we have not heard a peep about Call of Duty and Switch since that contract was signed back in, I think it was 2023, but we are going to see this reach fruition. All right, so 2026 does feel like a good year. I'm sure that the team over at Microsoft would love to cash in on all the Switch 2 hype, right? They can't probably make it happen on Switch 1, but can they make it on Switch 2? You bet your butt they can. All right, we're getting Assassin's Creed Shadows, we're getting Resident Evil 9, we can get Call of Duty 2026. And even though it's an Infinity Ward title, hey, I think as the teams together prep for Call of Duty as a platform expanding experience going to Switch 2, they'll share tech, they'll share ideas, they'll share their expertise, and they will make this happen. And I do expect a Call of Duty in 2026. I mean, would it be shocking if it slid to 2027? No, but do I expect it in 2026? I don't think you want to wait till the 3rd year of this system to start reaping the rewards of what is already a huge install base, and definitely in 2026, only going to get bigger because we see success after success and smart moves utilizing what the Switch 2 is capable of. The Switch 2 it's a great system. I think it's very hard to deny at this point that they didn't put the power inside this thing that they needed to put in. The people that were poo-pooing the system, trying to say it sucked, trying to say it's underpowered, it's just a relic, a rock, no. It's a really great system, and maybe you don't think that this game looks amazing, but I'd love seeing another 120 FPS game coming to Switch 2. It's something that Metroid Prime 4 is capable of next week, and it's something that Little Rocket Lab can do. Now, Little Rocket Lab is a game that is little, all right? We know that. We understand that it is a 2D factory sim type title, but 120 FPS. I love to see indie developers taking advantage of the tech that is provided for them. And I love to see that this isn't just something that Nintendo themselves can make happen with their in-house magic, but we do have a third party, a indie developer, making a 120 FPS game on Switch 2. Now, 120 FPS in this 2D little factory title, does it make much of a difference? Probably not. But does it show you that we are getting games that can capitalize on the hardware, and that hardware is accessible for other developers? Yes. And what does that mean? That means that the future is incredibly bright, because that means when you hear a game like Resident Evil Requiem coming out, you're like, okay, they've done it with Shadows. Other companies can take advantage of great frame rate. I'm sure they can make this run smooth and look very, very good. So when we hear other games be announced for Switch 2 next year, which I expect to be tons, I expect tons of games to get Xbox, PlayStation, PC, and Switch 2, you know and have confidence that, hey, if an indie developer can pull off 120, right? If big open world games can run with very few concessions and look great and have the weather systems, the cloth systems, the cloud systems, then we know that whatever game gets announced, like, it's gonna make it happen. The Switch 2 is not a system where you have to second guess or be very concerned about how this is possibly going to piece together with masking tape and box cutters and make it all come together to work like this robotic creation out of cardboard. No, the Switch 2 can run third-party games effortlessly. The Switch 2 can run third-party games with confidence, and that to me is one of the hugest wins that we've ever had from Nintendo. Honestly, in the modern era, saying that we can have day-and-date AAA titles from the other big publishers, it's massive. It's absolutely huge. Huge holiday win for Nintendo on the 120 FPS front. Huge holiday win for Nintendo on getting Call of Duty ready, hopefully for next year front. And huge holiday win for Nintendo on getting Assassin's Creed Shadows in such a glorious state, such a good state. So I'm feeling really great about this system as we move into the last big Nintendo release of the year. Metroid Prime 4 out next week. I'll have coverage for you as soon as I can, as early as I can. Super pumped for that game. We're gonna be mouse moding it up. We're gonna be checking out the performance mode, checking out the quality mode, and seeing what we can get in terms of graphics, performance, where we like to play it, what we like to do, and what this system really can put out. And I'm fully confident that AC Shadows is going to back that up. So it's a big week next week. Stay tuned. Get your rest this weekend, because it's games, games, games on your Switch 2 system all the way till Christmas. Thank you guys and girls for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay happy, stay positive there. Love you all lots. Until next time, SwitchForce out.